Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
May Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive the sins and the shortcomings of all those believers who passed away and make their qabr a place from the Jannah. Ameen. Tonight our topic is the relationship between you and then and who that is was left empty. The one who made the poster did not make a mistake. The one who sent the title to the one to make the poster also did not make a mistake. The one who received the message from me did not make the mistake. And me sending the message, I also did not make the mistake. So what's the issue? The issue is that because we are going to talk about so many relationships, we just could not put a title with about 20 lines. The relationship between you and. So the best way was to end it at your relationship end. We end it there. And now you are able to listen to some of those. When Allah Azza wa Jalla created you and me, probably from here on I will just say you, it's easier and quicker. When Allah created you, Allah created us, maybe more better. We come to this dunya, we came to this world with lots of luggage. You say, there was no luggage. I wasn't even wearing any clothes. But I do understand, you know what I mean, isn't it? So part of that luggage is the relationship. Some or most is not your choice. And some are your choices. Either directly or indirectly, either by options given and you chose, or sometimes it's sort of like you are forced, probably due to circumstances. A relationship is something which is a connection between two individuals or two parties or more than two parties coming together for various reasons. I would like to start it. You haven't started it yet, Sheikh? No, I haven't started it. Sorry, but don't worry. I always finish on time. Don't worry about that. Some of you must have not taken your lunch, watching the All Blacks playing the Aussies, right? So you forgot to take the lunch, and now you are hungry. Well, you blame yourself, not me. Your dinner, you knew that it will be after 8, right? So we can't forward it. Barakallahu fikum. Anyone who wants dinner now? No one. That's good one. You'll have it after 8 anyway. Barakallahu fikum. So, inna Allah ma'as sabirin. Allah is with those who have sabr, patience. Barakallahu fikum. So now I have, first of all, I would like to start this lecture with mentioning about relationship. Relationship, you can divide it in two different categories. First, al-halal wal-haram. That relationship which is legally endorsed in Islam, accepted, and the other which is forbidden in Islam. I say in Islam, as we proceed you will understand that if it is non-Islamic, then there are so many other things which is totally rejected in people they believe and do. Then first halal and haram. The other بينك وبين خالق وبينك وبين المخلوقات. The second way you can divide it, or the first way, the relationship between you as a creation of Allah and between Allah. And then you as a creation of Allah with the rest of the creations of Allah Azza wa Jalla. All of these which I have mentioned comes under huge amount of categories of relationship. So the first one we know is with Allah. And you submitted yourself with the Shahada when you said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Many times we have touched that, so I will delay it till end time, providing is with us. When it comes to with the rest of the human beings, mankind as a main species, and then with the other creations of Allah, which can include the trees, can include the animals, can include water, can include fire, can include river, can include sea, can include even grasses, can include the road, can include even the buildings, and anything which is within your galaxy can become part of that relationship between you and that. And for each and everyone, we are not surprised, but we know, alhamdulillah, you will find answers for that in Quran or Sunnah, or in both. Then this relationship, some of those things is in our control. And more precise is that some things which is in my control, meaning you individually, you have control on it. And the other things is either coming as a control from the community in general, so we need lots of hands to make it work, or it is more to do with authorities, like the government of a place or something, or global. All of these has got some form of relationships. But we are more going to focus on individual basis and a little bit more than that possibly bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So as I said, a relationship is any connection between two people which can be either positive or negative. And that relationship could be with you and your families and friends and neighbors and your colleagues and students and teachers and so forth. So among those can be, with those who you just met somewhere and all of a sudden something happens and you start to know each other. Relationship not always means a relationship which is, where husband and wife or something like that. That's one of the type of relationships among the many. So among those relationships which we are talking about, we can categorize it in many. I will mention few names, such as things which makes this relationship work, such as closeness, how close you are to that individual or how far away, and the impact of that towards this particular relationship, making it work. Fondness, how fond are you of that person or him or her towards you, and how you can develop that. Then the part related to understanding this kind of relationship which you have to the other person. Respect, which is very important. Any relationship without having any form of respect to it normally is a failure, unless the other party is too smart and too much of sabr and too much of wisdom, will try its best to make it work out. Without respect, basically the success rate is almost zero. Taking care of the other in your relationship, supporting each other in this relationship, honesty, acceptance of whatever it is. For example, you are the father or the child, the son or daughter. Okay, he is your father, he is your mother. It's not by your choice, and it isn't even your parents' choice that you are his or her child. That is from Allah Azza wa Jalla. But we need to accept this and make it work out. I'm talking in very, very general right now. Barakallahu fikum. Then the other is the toxic relationship. A toxic relationship is a relationship which ends up or starts to develop in something negative, which is not working out, and for various reasons it may become toxic. And this is something which we need to know. It could be toxic relationship with family members. It could be some kind of in a romantic relationship between husband and wife, of course, or workplace relationships and so forth. Part of that character which is associated with this kind of toxic relationship is when there is a lack of support from one side to the other, or refusal of that. Blaming game is very common. Remember, right now I'm talking in general, and you can put it wherever it is fitting in your life. A lack of support will lead you towards a toxic relationship. We can give heaps of examples. Blaming game, you start to blame. Every time something happens, you blame the other and not yourself. You were at the fault, you did this. Because of you, this has happened. If you had taken care of it, we would not be where we are today. The blaming game. Being competitive in an active way. Another thing which starts with having this toxic relationship. There is another issue of controlling behavior, where you like to control everything above your capacity and above what is acceptable Islamically. And then things start to go bad. Disrespect, where you don't respect the other person in front of you. Remember, in the first one I said respect, and here disrespect, the opposite of that. Dishonesty in your relationship. You are not honest with those around you, and this is quite common between husband and wife, as you know. Hostility, jealousy, passive aggressive behaviors like fighting every time, being abusive verbally or physically, and torturing and blackmailing and all this kind of stuff. Sometimes it's poor communication between you and her, or between you and him, between you and your parents, between you and your children. You are not communicating well enough or enough to make things work out. This can happen when you keep on making decisions on your own without knowing the other party, what it is all about, and then things can happen. Among those things are stress. Stress is an active behavior. Sometimes it's because of your own doing. You are the one who is creating this in your life. Now the next question is, remember, I'm just touching it quick and fast. And then we may come and touch few of these things. How to keep your relationship healthy. First, we spoke about good characteristics of a workable relationship, and then the toxic kind. Now we are talking about, if you want a healthy relationship in your life, in anything, some of these tips which may help you, barakallahu fikum. Regardless of whichever way you want to define the relationship with whichever category it is, there are some important steps which you need to take to ensure that what you want is achievable and can happen. Such as showing appreciation and gratitude towards the other party in your relationship. I'm pretty sure you are already cooking stuffs. How can I show appreciation? Or is it you were thinking of, she did not show me the appreciation, I did so much for her? If you were thinking this, you are the loser right from the beginning. Same applies to the sister. I have done so much for him, I always cook for him hot meals, and he's not appreciating it, then you are the loser, sister. Being appreciated, when I say showing appreciation, I did not say receiving appreciation, waiting for appreciation. I say showing you what you did towards them. Forget about whether they did it or not. It's you. Are you doing that? Communicating openly and honestly with the other party. The moment you start to hide your mobile, you go inside the toilet and then you remember that you did not lock your mobile phone with your passport, and you come out quickly and your wife is standing there. What are you doing? No, I forgot my mobile. What are you going to do with your mobile in the toilet? No, I forgot what? No, nothing. This is, you get you get caught up. I'm telling you, you will be caught up. Regardless of regardless of how smart you are, others were. They got caught. You will be next. The same applies both places. So you see, it's good to be open about it. She should know the passwords which she needs from you, your mobile, and you offer, look, this is my mobile and this is my password, and khalas. So you don't leave the room. Oh, you say, do you doubt in me? Ya akhi, anta lasta malakan, you are not an angel. So why do you want to pretend to her that you are an angel? You shouldn't doubt me. You get my point? So being open is part of being honest. And when you are open and honest, though I'm driving towards the wife's side right now here for both you, a life of a marital life, then the shaitan, the door of the shaitan is closing up. You know that you have tightened yourself by yourself for your own good. So if your wife opens your mobile, there won't be any plumber written, you get my point, or electrician, the number being saved under electrician, or a plumber, or something like that, Astaghfirullah if I'm giving ideas, because I know you brothers are so innocent. So please forget it if it is giving you something. Another thing is, you have to be affectionate and show that you really care for that person. Be that your mother, father, your wife, your children. You have to prove that. Yeah, you may say actions speaks louder than words, but then at times you need to really deliver that to the other side. Look, my actions may not show it. Like for example, you work hard every time, and you are late, and you are spending 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours at work, and your children are dead. Where is our time? In our time, now I'm not that old, but what I mean is that when we were growing up, there was nothing called our time and your time. Dad is working, khalas, is busy, mashgul, khalas. But the system has changed now, and trend which is here, that everybody's claiming that where is my time? Time for your children, time for your wife. If this is the only way for you to run your family by working for so many long hours, you need to let them know, look son, look daughter, look wife, the house in which we are, the food which is on the table, the freezer which is with all this food. If I don't work this many hours, I will fail to provide. It is not that I'm really happy spending so much of time outside my home when I know that I will be receiving unconditional love from you as wife and from you, my children. At times you need to communicate and let them know. My being absent from home is not my choice, but due to the circumstances I am so much away. You need to really make this happen, and communication and explanation at times works miracles. Barakallahu feekum. Mutual respect. Again, the word respect, it has been repeated more than once now. In some of the lectures which I have started related to marriage, or when I do marriage nikah between two parties, I speak a lot about respect, which is more important than what is called as love. Love can be fake, can be claimed, can fail if it is only based on the youthful desires. But respect is something which gets better and stronger and more concrete the more you advance in your life. And that's why respect is an extremely essential part of your relationship with everyone, where respect is required. When I said where respect is required, I can explain it in many ways, right? But let me put it at that, unless there are questions after. Actively listening. Actively listening, this is where, sometimes, mashallah, our hero is arrived here, and after I finish, then he will talk. Jazakallah khair, Shaykh, for coming. Barakallah fikum. Selective listening. Your wife is blaming you that you have selective listening, and you reply back that you also have selective listening. Selective listening is, she will keep on saying something which really you don't want to hear. Then either by choice, meaning that you were hearing it but you ignore it, or you really didn't hear it. It happens, believe me. But then, those things you are not supposed to hear, even the deaf will hear it sometimes. You get my point? Wallahi, I don't know how, but it happens. It's not intentional. Is it the shaitan who hears it and comes and whispers in your ears again or something? I have no idea. But it happens. Things which you are not supposed to hear, you will hear it. So it's not always about that you are selective. But here we were talking about active, not selective. Active listening means that, it's not that, it means that you have to sit down and listen like you listen to Quran. It means that if a person comes, the other party, whoever he or she may be, then you need to listen to what he or she is saying. Don't have a set mind before that this is what I'm listening here for, this is what it should be. No, listen first. Listen first. Showing interest in each other. As a wife and husband, let us leave that for a while. As a father, as a child and parents. Especially if your parents, they grow old. The body language, even before what you say from your tongue. How do you speak to him or her? When he was young, he was providing, he had a job, he was all stable in his physical form and activities, and you needed his support to finish your university, or to get married, or to be brought up. Are you still with that same position with your parents today? When they are in their 70s and 80s, and according to the Western capitalism, good for nothing. We know Islamically that is not the case. So what is your body language now towards them? Do you still respect them as if they are your gold, that they are your bank balance? Or is it that you don't respect them because you think that he is another casualty at my home? It's very important. Do you still respect your parents in spite of that age, that they are even more important to me now than when they were breadwinners? Do you feel towards them when you spend some money on them that you are so excited that you are able to help your parents? Do you feel that whatever amount of money I have, whatever cars and houses and bank balances I have, I will happily give it to them if they ask, or even before asking? Do you feel that? Probably not, but it's a challenge. Those whose parents are gone and passed, they feel that. Those of us who have lost their parents, we feel that we would give all the dunya to have a moment with them, even if it is for one day. And that is the truth of life, when it becomes too late. So, showing interest in each other, you don't make it, say for example, your husband or your wife, they become sick, they are no more what they were, probably totally dependent on you, not independent or semi-independent only. So when you do khidmah to them, you serve them with food, you bring the food, probably you have to change the, for them, because they can't. What is your body language? Is that respect and is that interest still there? Or is it just like someone who is a professional? Professionals who do better job than you, believe me. Just like a job you are doing. This is what we are talking about when we talk about relationships. Very important for me and you to understand how to form this kind of relationships. Being supportive and encouraging. Do we do that? Not all of our children are born equal. If you have few children, not everyone will be on the same page. Not everyone will achieve equally. Not everyone will have the same standard of IQ. Not everybody would choose what you want them to do. So what is your position? What is your stance? Always keep Qala Allah wa Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in front of you when you deal with these situations. In the entire relationship of yours, this is what you apply. Some of the examples I'll give later in general. It won't be specific to anyone, but it may fit some, but it is, believe me, as a reminder. Barakallahu fikum. Spending time together, as I said, I gave the example of father who works so many hours outside. Not out of choice, but out of circumstances at times. Yes, quality time spent together is very important. So you do need to prioritize that also, but I said prioritize. At times it could probably be you can only give so many hours and that's it. And then you as children, when your father is not able to give you that because he is becoming younger, he does not have that kind of energy anymore, and he still has to provide for you and the rest of your siblings. So when he comes home, he is extremely tired. He may be grumpy, he may be short-tempered, he may be struggling to smile. You know, some of us, when we smile at times, pain, we suffer severe pain even to smile. It's not a joke, because he may have some dental conditions. You don't know. You will know it after 50 years, inshallah, 60. But then you will realize that why my parents they changed, why their moods were different, why they were not what any other young man or woman is expected to be. Then you will realize it. Don't follow what you see in the movies, in the social media of an ideal parent. That's only in the movies. In reality, that's why movie is a movie, khalas. In reality, it's different. Believe me. Having healthy boundaries, even between husband and wife, even between you and your children, between you and your parents, between you and your neighbors, between you and your extended families, between you and those whom you pray with, there has to be a boundary of things. You should not excel and go beyond that and jump the fence to the other side. You will find yourself in a territory illegally, because the result of that almost every time is negative. Being trustworthy, we have already spoken about trustworthiness. SubhanAllah, I have opened the wounds or opened the mind to so many things which we can do. Now, the question from you would be that we are totally confused, Sheikh, from where are you going to start? I'm still stuck with the word start. Because though I threw a little bit of, sparingly a bit of perfume here and there, you know, it's like an appetizer. You know what is an appetizer? Isn't it food? If it is, you are sitting in a French course of 5 courses. So don't expect an appetizer to be something alien. It is still going to be something definitely called food. So exactly the main course which you will be eating is exactly the same there, but you know that instead of main course where you are going to be sitting down with 2 or 3 kg of food, here in appetizers it will be few grams of those things. This, but still it is food. So when I was talking all these things, I was giving appetizers not from anything outside the topic, but exactly from the topic which we are touching here. You know, in all of these relationships, there are few things which we must make note of. And that is what I will touch, probably is enough for me. Unless there will be questions and answers in the end, Bismillah, after our Shaykh will speak, then we will see about it, or Shaykh will answer it himself. 3 things, I think I have noted 3 things which we need to focus on. And I made a note of three things, and let me focus on three: as-sabr, al-nasiha, al-tahammul. Sabr, patience; nasiha, advice; al-tahammul, to bear it, to have patience enough to bear whatever difficulties and responsibilities will be put on your shoulders, though it can be a category of a sabr itself. Coming to sabr, you sitting here itself is sabr. Believe me. If it was not that you have no sabr, you would be somewhere else, and still you would have needed sabr, patience. So this is something extremely magical and important in your life. How much of sabr you have to deal in your relationships with others. Without this, you will be known to be an angry man. You will be known to be someone who is not able to communicate or not able to digest what others have. You would not be able to see from that person's perspective. Before anything happens in any issue, unless it is haram, as I said, unless there is a boundary between that and that, you should always look at it from that person's direction also, the person in front of you. And for this all, you need a lot of sabr. And when you have sabr, so many things can become easy, believe me. And when it comes to a nasiha, which is part of sabr in some sense, it's the nasiha is not only what you advise, before that what you are ready to receive. Al-mu'min mar'atu akhi. This is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that a believer is a mirror for his brother or sister, of course. So if Allah has made you a mirror, we all, anybody says he's not a mirror, tell me. We all agree, because Rasulullah said al-mu'min, the believer, and we all claim to be believers, isn't it? So you are mar'atu akhik, mar'atu ukhtik. You are a mirror for your brother, for your sister. So the moment you see them doing wrong and you don't tell them, or don't put an effort to let someone teach them and tell them, you are not mar'atu akhik. You are not. Rasulullah said, man ghashana falaysa minna. Whoever does ghish, cheats us, is not from us. We are cheating that brother now. We are cheating that sister. They do something haram and they come to you and say, is it okay? You say, man, you are a great man. No. Why you don't want to tell him you have committed something wrong? Because you know he or she will get angry. Then your relationship will go down, and probably if you work for him, then he will say ma salama, or probably that you are whatever it is. No, you are mar'atu akhi. You are doing nasiha for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man saha fi rida nas, radallahu anhu wa rada anhu nas. Whoever strives and focuses and puts his energy to please Allah, Allah will be pleased, and so will people be. It doesn't mean automatic, it doesn't mean everyone. The prophets, they did their best to please Allah. Some of the prophets, nobody listened to them. Not even one single follower was. Some of the prophets, their own wives and children, they disobeyed him, like Nuh alayhi salam, Lut alayhi salam. Or their parents, like Ibrahim alayhi salam. So not everybody is going to listen to you, but you will be doing what pleases the one who is the most important, that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So nasiha is something which is very important. More important giving than is to receive. It's easy, many people, they are happily going to give you and advise you. Hey bro, don't do that. From my personal experiences, not only here, it's not that I'm only living in this masjid or in this village or in this country or this city, no. From my personal experience, those who are very good at pointing finger to you and advising you are the last ones to accept your nasiha. Even if you don't say anything bad, don't say anything to them. Important is that you did not say what they wanted to say, they will become upset on you. You don't worry. You keep on advising them because you are pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You said something, you told them something which you thought to be the right thing. Unless you are proven wrong, you will repent, of course. This is something very important. And nasiha, it's, as I said, it's not easy. I spoke about this I think in Khutbah in our weekly series. So those brothers who come up and advise you and give you nasiha, be thankful to them. That he got the courage to stand up as a mirror, which Rasulullah said. It's not a mirror which is being sold in a warehouse, in a Kmart, or whichever shops they are, online or whatever, landline or whatever line. No. This is from Rasulullah. He told you that you are a mirror. This you cannot buy and sell. Your mirror, which you are, is not for sale, but unfortunately we have sold it, I think. Because those who really need your advice, you zip your mouth on them. Those really who you should tell them, at times you need to have that courage. Now, when it comes to this, not every one of us can do that. But you can at least tell someone who can do it for you. You can raise your hands to Allah and ask Allah, Ya Allah, help me, support me. I need this message to be delivered to Fulan. I know that he has been doing that. We need courage to advise. And from here comes something else. I just found out a few days ago. I knew this is some kind of pandemic, but to this extent, I couldn't believe it. I would not name people, places, or who told me. But I've been told about this vape, those things which they smoke, which is haram. I've been told that many families, they pray 5 times a day, they are in hijab and niqab and whatever. Then they sit down, the parents and the children, the daughters and sons, and everyone is doing it at home, in front of each other. What is this? The sifa, the character of it, that was only in movies we saw, if we have seen it, of course, in wherever, centuries or whatever. And now everyone at home is doing it. Is that, what is this? Regardless of the effect of that, which is scientifically proven is addictive, and it is dangerous, and it is some of the, depending on what flavors and whatever. But the thing is that Islamically, it is haram. Even if there is no harm to it. The sifa, this character, is not a character of a believer. It is not a character of a mu'min. In the time of the likes of Imam Malik rahimahullah and others, one of these Aimah, they gave the fatwa that if you have a glass of milk, is milk halal or haram? Loudly please, it needs to be recorded in the video. Halal. Halal. Allahu Akbar. Halal. They say if you take a glass of milk and drink the milk in a sifa in a way, the way the people they drink intoxicants, it's haram. Because you are trying to imitate a sifa, an attribute of a one who is committing a sin. That itself will tell you that this is smoke coming out like from a chimney. Who used to do that and what it was? So this is where our position is right now, Allah musta'an. And this is why nasiha is needed. And we need to keep on giving nasiha regardless of whether people they get upset, people they get angry. Allah will bring them back again. If not, then still you have done your job. And last advice, before I forget, due to the last point which I said, probably it just came out of my mouth. Ya akhi, when you come to the masjid, you are coming for who? For Allah Azza wa Jalla. So when you come to the masjid, and one day you come here and you see somebody says something to you, you dislike it. You leave the masjid. Who loses? You. So who will win? Shaitan. Na'am. You people said who will win? The shaitan. Who will lose? You. So why we keep on repeating that? You are coming for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Khalas. It doesn't matter whatever it is. Wallahi, at work, if you are paid 20, 30, 20 is nothing in Israel right now, probably 30, 40, 50, 60 and 100 or whatever dollars per hour. And the job which you are doing, whatever it is, and your manager and then your boss and whoever, they come and talk hard on you. And you are pretty sure that you won't get this kind of job. You will say, Inna Allah ma'as sabirin, I'm a believer and I pray 5 times a day. Alhamdulillah, Allah has given me lots of sabr. And whatever they say, I'm not going to leave the job because this is what they want. Because I'm a Muslim and he wants me to leave the job because he wants his cousin or someone to come and do the job. I'm not going to leave it, man. I'm going to work and prove to them, and the shaitan will lose the battle. I'm the winner. Allahu Akbar. This is for dunya. But for masjid, لا خلاص أطفح الأسباب. For the least of the reasons, at times no reason, خلاص قطعت المسجد. I'm going to get out of the masjid. I'm no more here. Ya akhi, you are the one losing, not me. You are the losing and the winning is only one. That's the shaitan. So yes, that sometimes people they find it difficult to accept the nasiha, but like barakallah.